Hi, I'm Daniel Abrahamson, and I play Austin in the show.
I've been pronouncing your last name wrong. Wow, I didn't know that.
Abramson,
It changes.
right?
So if I'm talking like a...
Wow. My name's Jay Davis, and I play Jeff.
Amazing. Hi, I'm Steffi Didomenicantonio, and I play Marcy, and I love you because...
I've been pronouncing your last name right.
My name is Justin Bott, and I'm playing the role of the New York City man.
I'm Blair Irwin, and I play Diana.
And I'm Lindsey Frazier, and I play the New York City woman.
This is a musical comedy about love going bad and then back. I gave everybody a bit of a request in advance if they could think of a song that, it doesn't have to be funny, it can be something that might be emotional for you, but if there's a song that you relate to for a bad breakup or getting you through a bad patch in a relationship. We'll go over to Daniel.
Mine would definitely be Ben Folds' Song for the Dump.
Yes.
I was dumped, and I just blared it with all the lights off in my apartment with my roommate and got drunk. And I had it playing probably 30 times in a row until the pain went away.
Only 30 times, that's pretty good.
Yeah, that's not bad. No, it wasn't a bad break.
Like an hour and a half. Mine was, I got married really young when I was 23, and we broke up. But she introduced me to this book called Celestine Prophecy, or the Celestine Prophecy? Yep. Celestine?
Both are
Abrahamson. and so I was all about signs and all that stuff, because that's what it's all about. And then we broke up, and our song was Kiss on a, that Seal song? I think it's called Kiss on a Rose. Yeah. Kiss from a rose on the something, anyway. So I was at my parents' house after we had separated, and this song came on the radio, and I was in my car, and I was starting to cry about it because I was so upset, right?
Baby Jay.
And then the song ended, and there was some sort of glitch at the radio station, and it was just dead air on the radio for probably 30 seconds, right? And I'm just all about signs and stuff like this. So then I heard this song and then nothing on the radio, and I was freaking out in my car. I was like, what is going on? What does this mean? Did I make the right decision?
Oh my God. What did you decide?
Oh, I left the country.
Right? I feel like I've had many a playlist of being broken up with and breaking up with people. But I grew up being a musical theater nerd, so I used to listen to The Last 5 Years a lot, and cry the last 5 years, a little bit. And also, Fiona Apple has this album, Extraordinary Machine, that after I got dumped, this guy just broke my heart into a million pieces. He had given me this album, and I thought it was kind of ironic, and I would just listen to it all the time. It was the craziest. But if I had to pick one song, and if I'm allowed to, there's this song called Coin Operated Boy by the Dresden Dolls. And it's just about this girl who is upset with this guy, so she decides that she's going to build a man that's coin operated, and he says all the right things at the right time and says exactly what she wants to hear, and that's probably one of my favorite songs of all time.
Lovely.
And also best breakup song, Feel.
You get to go first.
Do you want me to not go first?
I'll go together.
Okay, do you want to share it?
Yeah,
Let's
share.
Okay.
Oh, okay, let's move it over.
Because we just found out that
we picked kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
So basically, what we've decided on as being the best breakup or love gone wrong or whatever story would be the entire Once soundtrack from the movie Once.
It's a little girly, but...
It is a bit girly, but anyways, the situation surrounding my circumstances that I was doing a contract actually in Canmore, not far from here, and was broken up with over the phone by my girlfriend at the time. And then my friend was like, you have to watch this movie, it's amazing. And I was so mad because the couple in that movie didn't get together.
People might have seen it and they're going to watch it.
No, everyone's seen it.
It's on Broadway, for Pete's sake.
Anyways, you can cut back to the... Anyways, we just ruined it. Anyways, point being is that it was probably the worst and the best thing I could have watched. I would say that the one song from that show was When Your Mind's Made Up, because I felt like that really mirrored the situation that I was in. I had so much hope for the relationship at the time, and they had just decided that we weren't good and I didn't think had the best of reasons, but had just made up their mind, and it was over. And that song just repeats that lyric over and over again. When your mind's made up, when your mind's made up, there's no use trying to change it when your mind's made up. Yeah.
It's a good song.
But it's all for the best, because she was the last person I did it before I got married, so
To
set
Lovely
me up.
Debbie.
There you
It's
have
like
it.
the best.
Set me up real nicely.
Right? And I like all the songs from it too, and like fully had the whole soundtrack on repeat when my heart was broken really badly. But I like Leave because there's a lot of anger in that one. I don't know if you guys know it or not, but it's like really angry, which kind of like made it better and was like cathartic and stuff.
Yeah.
And and like to come full circle, I recently went to see the Broadway version of it, and I loved it so much, and I want to be in it. But like I watched it, and I was like, I could like look back at that part of my life and be like, yeah, that was not nice. But then see like the other side of it now, and it's a beautiful story. It's so good.
I think I hated the movie when I first saw it,
Yeah,
and
now you're like-
I've come to show everyone that doesn't know the movie. I'm like, you're coming over, we're gonna watch once.
Right?
Yeah,
Let's
sure.
watch once later.
We should.
Okay.
Can I come?
Yes.
And me, well, I approached this question a little bit differently.
Yes.
So I'm surprised no one else picked it. But guys, my heart will go on from Titanic. God, it just puts me back to being 13 and locking myself in my room for the entire year and longing for Leo. Why did he have to die?
Why did she let him go? Why did she let go?
Yeah,
The better question is, why did she ever let go of his hand?
Yeah.
And why did she not move over?
But he was like frozen.
Let him on the raft.
Yeah.
Simple. I would have saved him. Leo, I would have saved you.
If you see
Call
this,
Yeah.
In the sequel, maybe.
Yes.
Your character,
Yeah.
Austin Bennett, is uptight, regimented, and almost misses out on the girl of his dreams. But your bio in the playbill suggests that you may not have had that happen in real life.
Yeah, no, I actually am the victim of a wonderful showmance in my last year of college. That's how I met my wife. We were in a show together, playing opposite each other, and we were like friends who fought all the time. Actually, we were friends 3 years earlier, and we got in this horrible fight and didn't talk for like a year and a half. And then kind of started hanging out again, and I was with somebody else, and we were, then we were at a show together playing opposite, and things got very real. And we've been married for 2 years, been together for like 8 years now, and she's the best. Can't wait for her to come see the show. She's tiny, she's 4'11", so we're a sight gag. And I remember for the show we were doing, it was we're both fiercely competitive, and we rehearsed the show, and then we had like a 2-week break, and we had to come back, and the director was like, make sure you know your lines, guys, when you come back, because it was like the 2 of us were like the feature of the show. Make sure you know your lines when you come back. And I remember like before we did the first run through, I look at her, I'm like, you know your lines? And she goes, I know my lines. Do you know your lines? I'm like, I know my lines. And it was very like back and forth the whole time, very competitive, but it's worked so far.
So far for 8 years.
All right, here's it. Moment to shine.
Yep.
So, I've had some of the actors here that have been on or off Broadway, but I think you may be the first one I've met here that's been on London's West End, and in works by the Really Useful Group and Cameron McIntosh for musical theater. My God, can I just say, wow?
Thank you. It was a long time ago. Some of the worst work I've ever done.
Oh, no.
It means a lot on the resume. You know?
Yeah.
Absolutely, it does. I mean, like, there was a point where I sort of looked at that stuff and I was like, man, like, it was so long ago. I was like 24,
Oh, my God.
25 years old
3
when I did
years
those
ago.
shows. So yeah, 3 years ago, and then I sort of like didn't want to have it attached to me because I was like, it felt like a cheat because I was like, well, what did I do? I was in the ensemble of this show in the West End, and I did like a double pirouette and sang a high G,
That's
and then just
amazing.
sort of like, well, right, I mean, what is that? That's, I guess I sort of was like, well, what it is that, oh my gosh, I better watch what I say. Being in these shows requires skills, you know, and you need a certain skill. And then I went on, and later in my career, I started doing shows in studio theaters that really involved becoming an expert or competent at storytelling and all the stuff that comes along with being an actor and a performer and a singer and all this stuff. So I was so fiercely proud of the stuff that I was doing as I got better as an actor that I sort of resented the fact that it was like, hey, wow, you must be good because you did those shows. You know what I mean? So, but now I look at them and I validate myself with them all the time because I haven't done one of those shows in so long. I'm like, "Oh, so what have you done?" I'm like, well, I did Miss Saigon and Jesus Christ Superstar in the West End of London 15 years ago.
Three years ago.
But yeah, no, that was a great time of my life. London was amazing, and then we toured Europe with Superstar, and that was awesome. And I wouldn't trade it for the world. It was awesome, those shows.
Commercials, music videos, a selection of recordings that I'm presuming are going to be an album, or is that just?
I made a very bad album at one point. These were just sort of things that I recorded in my bedroom, or things that I had. A couple of them I'd taken off of my CD at one point. Yeah. It's good to be versatile. I mean, this is Canada.
Yeah.
You know, like you should have, you know, be as expand your career as widely as you can, and then also maybe learn a trade or become good at, you know, bartending or whatever, sales, anything, because the jobs come and they go, and there's good years and there's bad years, there's ups and downs. So versatility is the key, absolutely, in this country anyway.
Yeah. Okay, elephant in the room. What are some of the worst attempts to pronounce your name you've ever heard?
Oh my gosh, that's an excellent question. I feel like, just like, it gets butchered a lot, but I don't know if I can remember a specific time that it was particularly hilarious. But I like everything, like syllables missing, endings in O's instead of O's, like. But I don't know. That's a really, I really have to think about that one.
I practiced before.
Dido.
I practiced. Can I try mine?
Yes.
Steffi Didomenicantonio.
You
So
added
close.
like a couple of syllables there.
It has a
With Steffi?
Steffi was right.
Steffi. Fun story about my name, I guess, though, is that it means the bells of Sunday, like the church bells. So there's like singing in my life, like Cantonio. If my mom watches this and she's like, now that's not what it means, it's going to be pretty awful. But I was named also after Steffi Graf, the tennis player. That's how I got my first name.
Interesting.
Steffi Graf, yeah.
I didn't catch that online.
I know, right? Yeah, that's a little, yeah.
So we certainly get a chance to see your talent during this particular production. However, I recently watched you in the Stephen Leacock classic Sunshine Sketches of a Little Town.
You really did your homework.
You wouldn't believe. You didn't come across quite as strong a vocalist in that production.
Right, yes. I'm so happy you watched that. Yes, I had the pleasure of being in the adaptation of the book Sunshine Sketches of a Little Town by Stephen Leacock, which is a Canadian classic. And I got to play Lila Drone. As the name suggests, she is not a good singer. But through the eyes of her lover, Peter Pupkins, she sounds like an angel. But I got to work with like the most amazing people ever. Like Colin Mockery, Jill Hennessy, Donna Logue, like all these like amazing Canadian, Peter Callahan, like the list goes on and on. Ron James, Like, it was just so crazy. It was like one of the wackiest experiences.
There's a connection that'll come up in a second.
Oh, absolutely there
interesting.
is. Yes.
But yeah, I was going to say that was you've kind of answered my next question. Is it's a virtual showcase of Canadian talent. So
yeah, it's insane.
Do you kind of think you've, no matter everything you've done of your vast resume that I have pages of here,
Oh my God.
with Gordon Pinsent, all these names that you just mentioned.
I forgot Gordon Pinsent. How could I forget Gordon Pinsent? Anyway, yes, Gordon Pinsent. And something pretty cool too, last year at this time, I got to work with Meatloaf. Which I don't know if that was your next question, but I got to work with Meatloaf. And the Rocky Horror Picture Show was like one of my all-time favorite movies and musicals of all time. And being on set with him was like the craziest, most surreal experience of my life. It was just so wacky. And he's amazing and so funny, and it was like the best.
Can you tell that story about him in the morning?
No. I love you, Meatloaf. I would never betray you like that.
Well, top 5 in Canadian Idol, Broadway National Tour of Spring Awakening,
Yeah.
and an upcoming feature film with somebody that you may have just mentioned a moment ago. How do you pick a career highlight today?
Oh,
I love you because.
That's really hard. I feel like I feel like I've been super lucky to work with amazing casts and on amazing projects. But I have to say, like, I can't pick one. Like, I have to put it out there. I can't pick one. But if I really had to, I would say that, Spring Awakening for me was probably the biggest dream come true. Like, so corny, but I was dreaming about that musical and just thinking about it so much and listening to the soundtrack over and over again, just like wishing and hoping that I could be a part of it one day. And then when it happened, I just lost it. Like, it just felt like it was something, I don't know, like the most insane, it was the most craziest dream I could think of, and then it happened. So I would have to say that Spring Awakening was one of the most craziest dream come trues ever. And I got to be on tour with it for 2 years. And we visited 44 American cities. We also did Toronto. And I did the show over 600 times, which was crazy. And it was like amazing to grow with that role and the people around me. And that show never got old for me. And it's... listen to the soundtrack still to this day. It just like gets me right here.
So career highlight, Spring Awakening.
I couldn't pick one, but if I had to.
Justin Bott.
Yes.
I was reading a blog post from your website, and it says "coming soon." Isn't that just a crafty redirection to your upcoming projects?
No, not actually. I created a blog section on my website because I wanted to start blogging. Specifically, what I wanted to blog, which I still haven't copied and pasted from a journal yet, was when I drove on a motorcycle from LA to Toronto, and I wanted to blog out those 8 days because every day I would open my journal at some point in time in the middle of the whatever mountains or road I was on, and I just write something down, whatever I was thinking. And so I wanted to blog those 8 days, but I just haven't gotten around to copying it out of my...
You should do that.
Yeah, my little journal thing that I brought with me. But otherwise, no, the work section is the what's he up to or what's he doing. I forget what I called it, but yeah.
Another nice comprehensive site.
Yeah.
So
you.
would that be a project that might end up turning into a film or a play?
Which project?
Just your motorcycle trip.
Oh, I don't know that it'd turn into a film, but I think that if I did it again, I would do more than just take pictures. I still have all the pictures on my phone because it was one of the most amazing things that I've ever done all by myself. It was completely solo. I flew out there with a friend whose husband's motorcycle it was, and he was ill at the time, so I picked up the bike from a storage unit and just drove for 8 days and did not take a straight route at all. I chose to come off of the interstates and just drive around the mountains and back roads and stuff, so it was pretty crazy. But if I ever did a trip like that again, I would definitely document more of it, maybe like video, photo, maybe blog as I go or something like that. Yeah.
Great exercise. You're also building up a nice folder full of film and TV appearances, but your live theater credits continue to blossom as well. Is there any one area you'd like to see of your career grow more than the other?
Obviously, I'd love to get more experience in every area. I agree with Jay 100%. The more versatile you are, I think the better. I've done 2 or 3 commercials and a couple film and television things, and then I even did like a voiceover workshop. It's all about being versatile, I feel like, in this career, in this industry. So I'd love for film and television to grow, but I'm not like hanging on it to grow, because I love doing live theater. I love the immediacy of it, the fact that it's just real and live every day.
And you work all the time, so.
And I work sometimes, so I'm kind of okay right now.
To your diversity. Now, I'm never sure. I hunt all over the internet trying to find little tidbits and stuff to use in these
Right.
interviews. However, I'm not sure if this is the same Justin Bott.
We'll see.
But if it is, could you tell me a little bit about your droid friend video? Is that something of yours?
I don't know what that is.
Droid friend videos?
Yeah.
Are these the
Are
videos
those the
we've been
videos that we
making?
just did?
It's online.
Okay, so basically, so Steffi has this app on her iPad.
Oh my God, that's the amazing app we were just telling you about.
No
Making
kidding.
movies between
Yeah.
shows.
Yeah. So basically, it's just I don't know. I mean, we're all getting pretty good at them, but I fancy myself as someone who really likes stuff like that. And Steffi showed me this app. It was pretty hilarious. We've kind of taken it to the next level. Jay has the app now, and he's downloading all of the upgrades to it. So we've got like Starship Enterprise, we've got droids, we've got boulders, we've got wrecking balls, car accidents. Like we've got.
Yeah, and we're actually scouting out locations
Yeah,
now. Making trips just to film these things.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I think the other day we were driving, we were on the way to the gym, and Jay's like, do you want to make a quick video first? And I was like, sure. We live up on the hill on Ramsey, so we went to the lookout, and I sat on a bench, and the Starship Enterprise comes over my head, and I go, what? And then it takes off light speed, and I'm like, what the? And that's the video. So, yeah, they're pretty fun.
At the end of the day, we're going to make them all into one big montage.
Oh,
Yeah,
shoot.
maybe we'll make we might even make an
Gotta
action
make 'em
video.
mom.
Or make an
Maybe
action
you could
movie
link
and
to
then
it
use
in
all
your
this
website.
stuff.
I might have to do that.
Yeah.
Guys, you're gonna be famous.
We are.
We're going over to Blair Irwin. Okay, so talking about Canadiana and getting a spoiler alert from the last interview there, you have a recurring voice role on the Ron James Show.
I do, it's the best. I'm saying this all of you because, I mean, they're both the best.
Is that a career highlight?
It's a career highlight. It's the gift that keeps on giving. I auditioned for it 5 seasons ago and was lucky enough to be selected and went in, and like there's this little family group of us now. We see each other a couple times a year, and like one of the guys has gotten married since we started and has 2 babies that are really cute. And like, yeah, it's just we've gone all through with this stuff for the last 5 years together. That's what it is. And yeah, it's awesome. I actually recorded some while I was here. They were called and they were like, "Are you available to do some recording?" And I was like, "I'm in Calgary till mid-November," but so they sent me this to the CBC here
For Pete's sake.
at 7 in the morning one morning. It was awesome, and they were in the studio in Toronto at the same time, and so they patched me in and I recorded with them at the same time in a different province. It was really, really cool. It was like technology. What?
It doesn't have that too. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly right.
So did I also read on your site that you have a debut album, although there doesn't seem to be any teaser samples online
There
for...
is one actually.
I didn't catch it.
If you open the main page and your volume is on, then one of the songs plays on the main page. If
Oh,
you
I
read
hate
that.
sites that do that.
Well, I you're just kidding. No, it's sort of like, yeah, you can pause it and stuff. So if you hate it, then you don't have to listen to it, but it's there.
You've also got a little bit of experience performing in New York City.
A little bit, yeah. I was lucky enough to be a part of a great series that happened a while ago. It's they're not doing it anymore, but it's called Monday Night's New Voices, and it's put on by a lovely composer named Scott Allen, and he's becoming more and more popular. And he would take 5 or 6 up-and-coming performers and 5 or 6 up-and-coming composers and match people together. And yeah, and so right before I was scheduled to go live in New York for a summer, my friend was like, "You should do this," and I was like, "Okay, sure, whatever." And I sent him a clip of me singing the night before I left. And I got up in the morning, like packing my bags, and an email came in, and it was from Scott Allen, and he was like, "You're fantastic. You're in the next one." And I was like, "What?" and my brain exploded, and I was like, oh my god, I get to perform off Broadway, oh my god. And it was a really cool experience, and they actually paired me up with an awesome composer named Joe Iconis, who is also becoming more and more famous, and he actually wrote a lot of the music for Smash, the TV show.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he's kind of a big deal. So it's neat to have known him way back when, and he's really talented and nice too, which is always helpful.
You hate that when they're nice and talented.
What's wrong with him?
Anyway.
Yeah.
My favorite part, though, of all of this stuff that I find online is when I come across stuff and stuff like on your resume again, you've got special skills. So I'm torn. Which do I want to hear?
Oh, it's coming!
Stage flying,
yes.
or
Yes.
please tell me a little bit about cat barf.
I feel like I'm inside the actor's studio.
Go.
Okay, stage flying, I will just say that I've been in a couple of shows where they've had to fly me, like Wizard of Oz and Peter Pan. And so it's like they put a harness on you and blah, blah, blah. So I have experienced that, no big deal. Cat barf is something I'm very proud of. It's a special skill, also known as an impression of a cat barfing. I put it on there to see if people are reading my resume, because if they are, they'll usually bring it up. Okay, I will do it for you presently. You know, it really helps.
Do you
when I
want some
stand.
space?
Yeah,
Just
why don't
here,
you stand?
right here. Is this
There you
okay?
go.
Yeah, great. Okay.
Anything, so I can watch this.
Okay, I've got to try not to laugh because it's difficult.
Nobody look at her. Nobody look at her.
Don't look at her.
Don't look at her.
I actually had to do this in a show once. Didn't have to. I put it into the show thinking it was going to get cut. And then we got to opening and it still wasn't cut. And we got through the whole thing and it was not cut. And I was like, what is happening? It was like a radio show, so it was like a sound effect. Anyway, I digress. That wasn't my best one because I was a little bit like laughing.
I think
Wait, please explain to them what this is.
Oh, that is the cat backing up, because when a cat barfs, it backs up so it doesn't touch the ground.
Oh my god, that kills me.
if ever there's an Emmy for cat barfing.
Thank you. Calgary?
Yeah, you'll get one. They'll-
Yeah, that's what it is, the Calgary.
The Calgary.
I can't go after cat bar.
I know. Maybe I'll move it around.
I didn't think I could go after Idol either, but figured it out.
Hashtag.
Hashtags bring away my favorite part.
That'll be the promo cast. So you almost ended up in an entirely different career. I read in another interview that's online that you attended the National Ballet School,
Oh.
but you had surgery when you were just a teenager,
I did.
and the dreams were dashed.
Yes, but you know, something beautiful came from it. I was so bored. I was used to dancing 6 hours a day, 6 days a week, and then both knees. I had surgery on them at the same time, so I took up singing, and it turns out I could do that pretty well. So I think it all worked out for the best. I'm so happy in this career, and I think I will get to go further in this career than I would have as a ballerina. But still, it's a very special place in my heart.
Great.
So obviously you can sing, as we've seen in this show here, but you're also and apparently a very good actor, because there was a lot of stuff online when you were playing as Elle Woods in the Legally Blonde production out on the East Coast. I've seen features in the Chronicle Herald, in the on Global News, in the Halifax Magazine, and that's just a few of the things I came across. But it also happened to run in the theater that inspired you.
Yes. When I was 4 years old, I was taken to see my very first musical ever, which was Fiddler on the Roof at Neptune. And it inspired me. I knew that day that I was going to perform. I didn't know, at that time, I wanted to either be a figure skater, a ballerina, or an opera singer. But I knew no matter what I was going to do with my life, it would be performing. And I remember being very serious about it, even like as a little kid. And it was sold out, so my parents had to sit a few rows back, and in between us there was this old man who was talking through the show, and I was just livid as a 4-year-old, like little white hair, just tiny little thing, and I just whip around to him and I said, "Will you please be quiet?" So I knew. And so I knew at that moment that I was pretty serious about
You were
this
every
profession.
actor's favorite 4-year-old.
Do what I can. Yeah, so getting Legally Blonde, that role is a dream role for me. And getting to do it there in my hometown at the place that inspired me to do this, that was an absolute dream come true for me.
You also, I think, if I recall, have played virtually every role in Anne of Green Gables.
Close to, yes, at some point in my life. I did the Charlottetown Festival for about 5 or 6 seasons. And yeah, throughout that time, other than Anne, Marilla, and Mrs. Lind, I think I have gone on, and Miss Stacy, but everybody else, yeah.
Gertie Pie?
I've done the round. Gertie Pie!
Oh my God.
I've done the round.
Mr. Phillips?
So, any idea on where you guys are off to from here?
Oh, the world is my oyster. That's kind of one of the things that I love about this business, and can be a scary thing, but it's also really exciting, is that you don't always know what you're going to do next, but it means something really amazing could just fall into your lap. The auditions for this show were a month before we started, so I didn't know I would be out here in Calgary for the first time with all of these amazing people doing this wonderful show, and now here I am. I think it's actually one of my favorite things. It keeps life very exciting.
Never know.
Spicy, yeah.
Spicy.
Any thoughts where Blair might be?
I'm going home to my husband after this, and my kitty cats. And then in the spring, I'm going to be doing Avenue Q in Sudbury, directed by Darcy Evans, who directed the show as well.
Excellent.
Yeah.
I am going to go home to my wife for about 6 days, and then Jay and I are going to go to Belleville, Ontario, and we're going to do a pantomime there. Yeah, it's going to be pretty good, which will actually count as Jay and I's 3rd show together in a year. We worked together last November once, then this show, and now in November we start rehearsals
Crazy.
for this other show, so 3 times in 1 year.
Wait,
And
yeah.
we're both from Elmira,
Oh my
which is
gosh.
also fun.
Something in water.
And his dad was my drama teacher in high school.
Small world.
It's super small.
Connections, there you go.
Steffi?
I'm also going to be going home to your wife. And to be going home to my wife. I feel I'm in the same boat as Lindsay. I feel like the world is my oyster. But Stage Fright, the movie that I was in with Meatloaf and Menu Drivers, due to come out kind of soon, so I'm really, really excited about that. I also got to play like Eliza Minnelli obsessed girl in the movie, so I just think like that's going to be a really fun little highlight. And I'm also in this band that Daniel loves called
A folk band.
a folk band. And yeah, we write music and we do shows and we have an EP, so it's like really fun. I'm going to keep doing that and then see what's next.
I'm going to come see you, Steffi.
Oh, I hope so,
Yeah.
Blair. Thank you.
Maybe
For sure.
show too.
Sure, we all be. Think about it.
How about Jay?
The Panto is the only thing that is concrete at this point. And then there's a few other projects next year that are just in the works, but nothing official yet.
And we're crossing our fingers for them because they're good projects.
They are good projects. Yeah. Very awesome, low paying. But that's what I love, like I said before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I, for the first time in my life, have a gig after a gig, so that's like soups exciting. And I'm doing a panto too in Port Hope, where I'll be wearing a dress.
Really?
What's the panto this year?
Cinderella, ugly stepsister,
Nice.
right here, typecast.
Well, this is the cast right now of I Love You Because here at Stage West Calgary. The cast.
Oh, we gotta start all over.
Is the light supposed to be saying record or not?
So breakup song.
Can you imagine?
So this is the cast of I Love You Because playing right now at Stage West Calgary. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys are in here between two shows. It's always just fantastic that you guys give your time like this. And best
We
of luck
love
for
you
the rest of the
because.
run.
Thank you for
Thank you for coming. Thanks for watching.